Welcome to Rasoi Quarantine. Today I am going to make a flatbread. This is a very versatile bread and we at home enjoy eating this in many different forms. Let's start firstly with the ingredients. What you need is basically 500 grams of plain flour. You need salt, you need some oil, you need milk, you need water, and you also need yeast, which is very important. The yeast here I have actually mixed with a small amount of sugar and half a cup of water and let it ferment for a good 15 minutes. I'm also going to add a small amount of baking powder in this and a little bit of yogurt. Why do I add these three raising agents? I'll come to it. But first, let's get ready with 500 grams of self-raising flour. I have used plain flour. If you have self-raising flour, that can also be used. That goes in. Salt. And in this, I'm going to add onion seeds or kalonji or nigella seeds. I quite like the black specks in the dough. I think it looks very nice. It also gives a very nice flavor. In this, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of baking powder. 1 teaspoon of baking powder. There are 3 raising agents I normally add in the dough at home. It is yeast, it is baking powder, and the small amount of yogurt. The reason why I add yogurt is it makes the dough nice soft. It gives a slight amount of sourness, which I actually enjoy in the bread. It also helps the dough to rise. And then the yeast. Here, have a look at the yeast. It's fermented well. So that's 7 grams of yeast in 1 tablespoon of sugar. You can use any sugar you want, white sugar, brown sugar, and half a cup of warm water. Always add warm water. Now, if you don't have yeast at home, you can always increase the quantity of your baking powder. So if you're having 1 teaspoon, you can probably make it 2 or 2 1/4 teaspoons of baking powder, and you can also add a little more yogurt. So I have added 2 spoons of yogurt. You can probably make it 4 spoons of yogurt. The yeast mixture, and I'm going to lightly mix all of this together first. I'm going to add 1.5 tablespoons of oil, 100 ml of milk. Never add the milk cold, always add it at room temperature or slightly warm. Mix this together, again at room temperature, never cold. When you mix this together till you form a soft dough. I'm going to now transfer this dough onto my tabletop, and this is where the fun part starts, where you actually start kneading the dough. And just like magic, it forms into a ball of dough. It all comes together. Look at that. So 500 grams of plain flour, 7 grams of yeast, 1 tablespoon of sugar, half a cup of water. And that you're going to add 2 tablespoons of yogurt. You add salt. You add oil, you add 100 ml of milk, and you add 200 ml of water. And this is what you will get, the dough. Now what you have to do is you have to basically massage this dough for a good 5 minutes. Stretch the dough. And that is important. The dough has to mix well. Here you go. It's nice and smooth. There are no lumps in the dough at all. Just make sure I put a little oil in the dough. And I'm going to cover it with a wet cloth. And I want to leave it for at least an hour for it to rise. Our dough has rested for 1 hour. Come have a look. This is almost double in size. I'm going to lightly knock it back and roll it again, just to make sure the dough is well mixed. And now I'm going to put it all back together. It's nice and soft. I'm going to roll the dough out into a log, and I'm going to make 5 portions, approximately 100 to 120 grams of portions for each. And then, come have a look. And this, after having made the dough ball, I'm going to again let it rest for around 20 minutes. Same wet cloth, and I'm going to leave it again. So now we're going to come back in 20 minutes time. The dough would have rested. I'm going to dust it with flour. I'm going to roll it out and then cook it. Our dough has now rested. Come and have a look. Look at that. It's really risen up quite well. So now at this stage, I'm going to put it onto my granite top, and I'm going to flatten the dough with my fingers. I have some suji here, or semolina. I'm going to dust it with some semolina. And I'm going to try to make it as flat as possible. From the inside, you move your fingers on the outer side and try and spread the dough. As much as you can. Just make sure it's evenly spread out. If it tears up, not a problem. You can always stick it back. A little more semolina. At this stage, you can lightly use a balun, a rolling pin. This dough, I then put it onto my stoneware, which is like a pizza stone. So my base is done. You can either bake it as it is, or what we like to do in our home is put some kind of a little sauce. So got a little flavor to it. So that's just a tomato cooked together, just plum tomatoes cooked together. It's got some green chili, it's got some spices in them. And it's also got red chili paste and garlic paste. So just lightly going to spoon in a small amount of the sauce, just so that it is got a little more flavor to it. And on that, I'm now going to sprinkle in a little bit of oregano. You can use any dried herb which you have. What we like to do in our home is we try and do a batch of maybe 6 or 8 of these bases and keep them ready into a fridge, and whenever we want to eat, have them on its own. Or we make it like a pizza and a naan, flavoring what we want. So chicken tikka or some paneer or vegetables, add some more tomato based sauce on it, or add some more flavorings and bake it in the oven after topping it with cheese, and it comes out very nice. So let's see, this goes in. The oven is set at 250 degrees centigrade, and that will take approximately 15 to 18 minutes to cook. We will come back and have a look. My flatbread is ready. I'm going to take it out now. So there we are. That's our lovely flatbread. All the tomato and the chili sauce have gone and stuck onto the flatbread and got little dried herbs. Now what I also like to do here is I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of chili oil. It gives a very nice flavor. And if you notice, I had put some semolina on this. The semolina gives it a very nice crispy crunch on top of the bread. This you can have it on its own. This is quite nice and crisp, warm fresh bread. Or I had done one more which was slightly undercooked. If you look at it, it is slightly undercooked. This can have various toppings. It can have spinach, it can have paneer, it can have vegetable, it can have cheese. You can also put an egg, and you can put it back in the oven, and you can have it as a complete dish on its own. That dish I'm going to make one more time and show you guys. In the meantime, enjoy these lovely flatbreads, and don't forget to share with your friends and tag me when you post them. Enjoy.